Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our stream. We have the NACE Starleague Week 5 here for Rocket League. My name is Matthew Fortner. This is my friend Rylan. Rylan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm looking forward to this game. So we have Ohio State against Dakota State, and I'm really looking forward to this one. Unfortunately, we're coming off a bit of a loss streak. We've had 2 losses straight, but we're 2-2 on the season. Dakota State 0-4 heading into this match. So it looks like a good opportunity for the Buckeyes to bounce back.
Yeah, absolutely. And after watching Ohio State over the course of the season so far, they really done an excellent job in some of the more tougher games that I've seen and the really close games. And I think coming into this game, they're going to come up with a lot of confidence, especially knowing that Dakota State hasn't won yet in this division. Is that right?
Yeah, no, they have not won yet.
Yeah, and I mean that's going to be a big boost of confidence coming into this this series as a whole. I mean, it's a best of 5, and if everything goes according to plan, it looks like Ohio State could be able to wrap it up in 3 games.
Yeah, this should be a crucial match. I think it's a good, opportunity for them to bounce back. We've had the 2 losses in a row. It's the turning point in the season. We're about halfway through right now. So this match is a good, chance to get a positive record back on the board as they head into this final stretch.
Yeah. And the final stretch, I mean, it's going to be really crucial for Ohio State. And this game is just, it's so important, especially, they know that Dakota State is 0-4. And I think going into this game, they're going to have a lot of confidence, and they're going to go with a lot of attacking play. Now, obviously, they have to be careful. It's Rocket League. Anything can happen. So they got to make sure that they play their game, they play with confidence, and they play well, pass the ball, move the ball. Just do what they've normally been doing over the, the course of the season.
Yeah. I would definitely trust in them to play in their own game more so than trust that they are just going to outskill the opponents, because you never want to head into a match where you're just overconfident and then that comes back to bite you. But we should be getting into this match here shortly.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see it.
Yep.
Starting off here, 5 minutes. Let's see who's playing for Ohio State. We have Temp, Burgess, and Perk Dog coming in here.
Yep, that's a pretty solid lineup. And we're on one of my favorite maps, I think, ever, is the Beckfield Park of Midnight. It's just gorgeous. That just rolls in for Temp, though. Not really sure what happened on the defensive end, as it looks like Temp didn't get too much opportunities. It's a bit of a pinch, bounces off the wall, and just no one's really able to recover it on defense for Dakota State, and that's 1-0.
Yeah, that looked like a really awkward play there for Dakota State, but, I mean, Ohio State will take it 14 seconds in. A 1-goal lead is certainly really crucial coming up, especially since they have so much time left in the game.
Yep. Perk Dog's going to get the first opportunity after this, but he's just going to end up hanging it off the back wall. Burgess can't make that read, but it's not going to matter. The defense is still ready for it. And just, a little bit of back and forth. Obviously, the early goal for Ohio State's going to work wonders, but I'd expect a little bit of feeling out in this first game one, since it is a best of 5. You got a little bit of time to adjust to what your opponents are doing.
Yeah, and as you can see so far here, with not even a minute past, you can see Ohio State's really, really putting on the pressure right now, and I think that's kind of their game plan right now. I mean, knowing that they have so much confidence going into this game, they're just going to do everything they can to keep the ball in their half, but they are bringing it back here to kind of get a reset here. Let's see how this one plays out.
Yeah, that looked like a bit of an opportunity for a counterattack play by Dakota State, but all of OSU was able to race back in time, and now Burgess is looking to take it down the field. Temp's going to fake and leave it for Perk Dog, who's going to just fire one at the net, and it just happens to go in. The defense, again, not ready for it, and that's 2-0.
Yeah, I think Dakota State right now just might be a little bit stuck on their feet. There's not really any solid defensive aerial clearances or defensive plays. It just seems really awkward. But Ohio State will take it. I mean, 2-0, and, a little bit over 2 minutes, or 1 minute has just passed. Wait, no, I can't even do math, can I? Yeah, I'm just gonna stop. I'm a math major, and I can't even do math.
Who needs to count if you're a math major? That's not too important.
Yeah.
Zev Moss is going to be able to clear this immediate danger, but again, Ohio State on the orange half of the pitch, looking to put on the pressure. Temp's going to get the 3rd goal for them, just less than a minute and a half in, and it's 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I were Ohio State right now, I would just, doing what they're doing is perfectly fine. I mean, it seems a little bit awkward from Dakota State, honestly. They haven't got any really solid defensive chances, and it looks like Ohio State's just being able to play a kind of casual game here. But I think Dakota State, they definitely can do something about this. I mean, Ohio State's putting a lot of pressure, and Dakota State can counter if they really want to.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State's definitely got a lot of the pressure, but they still have complete control. I don't feel like there's been any opportunity for Dakota State where they've actually been able to retain possession of the ball or get a good opportunity going. So Ohio State's still just, playing controlled, staying on the orange half, getting balls shot at the net. It's really a simple game for them, but this could be an opportunity. Joe Fish is going to miss that in the midfield, and no one's really there to collect it.
Yeah, and I think one thing that I'm noticing right now is Dakota State's rotation. You can see Ohio State's doing a really good job rotating just on the attacking half, just trying to keep everyone at that half and rotating position on who's at half field. But Dakota State always seems like they just have one defender back, and as you can see right there, I mean, it's paid off for Ohio State to bring a 4-goal lead thanks to Burgess.
Yeah, I think they got a little bit overcommitted with the double commit. Ohio State had a double commit on defense, and Burgess was able to clean it up, with a goal. So really no, punishment for the defensive error, you might think, for Ohio State. And actually they got a goal out of it. So complete control from Ohio State in this first half of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched a lot of games this season, and they've all been really close. And honestly, we haven't seen, I don't think, this big of a goal differential this early on. I mean, we still have 2.5 minutes left to play. I mean, just shy of half the game. And honestly, 4-0, I mean, it's gonna be like kind of casual here for Ohio State coming into the the last bit of the game. But it's really depending on how Dakota State can respond to this.
Yeah, it definitely feels like Ohio State has more shots or more goals than Dakota State has shots on net.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they continue that pressure. That one just bounces off the post. Steph got a bit of a pinch with the Ohio State defender, and it doesn't end up going in the net. So we stay 4-0 as Temp's going to dribble this out. Looks to get past one. Can't get it by Joe Fish, and looks like Dakota State has an opportunity if Burgess doesn't beat them to it. He's going for the ceiling shot. It's down a pass to Perk Dog. He'll nail it, and it's just so clean from Ohio State as they get their 5th on the board now.
Yeah, that was a really good passing play there. I mean, this is kind of what we expect to see from them. They do a really good job moving the ball, and Perk Dog is usually able to just kind of poach those opportunities and clutch those goals. And obviously, as you can see here, being 5-0, I mean, you can see it's really paying out for them. I'm sure Ohio State's just going to do a lot to practice those opportunities as we speak. I mean, in this game in particular. And right now, they're still, this is just still the first game. I'm sure they've had their warm-ups and whatnot, but this game in particular, I mean, it matters the most, these series of games, because it is for the Starleague.
Yep. This game one, so far, very much going in the way of Ohio State as they maintain control. They are going for a demo on what could be a possible shooter. He won't find it, and Burgess is going to pack this off to Perk Dog. Won't end up coming to anything, but again, we're stuck on the orange half. Ohio State putting in loads of pressure, getting a demo here as well, as Burgess going to take it to the ceiling as well. And it looks like they're just going to practice this play. Could be the same exact thing, but Perk Dog goes for the demo instead of the shot. And it's still in possession of Ohio State despite the lack of boost.
Yeah, unfortunately, just watching Dakota State, the rotation isn't as perfect as I'm sure that they'd want it to be right now. I've never seen Dakota State honestly play, but given what we have here in this first match, I mean, you can see that they're either all on one side, they're all on one half, or there's just one person back, like in this instance, or Temp's able to just kind of mash it in there. An easy 2v1 there for Ohio State as we come into the last minute.
Yeah, Perk Dog just kind of sat under the ball and waited for Dakota State to beat themselves, and then it became a 2-on-1 on offense, and failure can't save that if Temp's dunking him. So it's 6-0 for Ohio State. Very clean start to the series. We'll see if Dakota State really has an answer in a future game, because this one already feels like a write-off.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's only about 40 seconds left here, and who knows what's going to happen. Who knows how many goals are going to be scored. Could be either side, but Ohio State's just doing what they can to keep the ball on the side. They're not really letting it go past the half field. And I think, intentionally, I mean, that's the way Ohio State plays. They're kind of all, gun-ho, throw everyone forward and get some really good passing, fast attacking plays. And their game is, still paying out here. I mean, it's paid off with 6 goals so far in this first game of the series.
Yeah, I think a big thing that's helping them, if they like that strategy, the speed difference in between these two teams is really going to favor Ohio State. I've noticed them be a lot faster to the ball in almost every single circumstance, and that's probably why they have these 6 goals over Dakota State. But as soon as this ball hits the ground, I don't think Perk Dog's looking to make that happen, but as soon as it does, we'll be heading to a game 2.
Yeah, it looks like they're just trying to do everything they can to keep it up, and I mean, fair play. I've seen that a bunch of times when I've played Rocket League, and they're still trying. It looks like they're trying to get a goal right now by keeping this up in the air, but unfortunately that one's just going to collapse down to the ground. And first game of the series is going to go to Ohio State. We saw Ohio State do a really, really good job there. But, honestly speaking, do you wish for anything that Dakota State might want to bring into this next game to maybe kind of change the dynamics a bit?
Yeah, I was noticing Failure was going for a lot of demos, specifically on the shooter. He had one opportunity where he just whiffed the demo, and nothing actually came of it from the shooter. That he wasn't able to get a shot on target. But I would like to see maybe less of those demos attempts, honestly, because they're already struggling on defense. They need to make sure their rotations are tight, don't go for anything extra or unnecessary. And if you play a clean game of Rocket League, keep your rotations in, check and make sure you're just getting to the saves, then I think that's probably a good starting place. If you find a place to demo in that rotation, I would go for it. But other than that, I mean, don't overstress yourself and try to force something to happen. Let Ohio State get overconfident and beat themselves.
Yeah, and looks like Failure here is just trying to get a shot on. That could have been a really early goal there from Dakota State. But I think to your point earlier, you mentioned about the pace of the game. And obviously, like I said, Ohio State plays a really fast game. And it's really hard to play a slow defensive game, in Rocket League. You've got to be quick. And Failure is just trying to tuck it in. They get a nice early goal there within 30 seconds. But yeah, I mean, the speed of the play, it's really crucial for Dakota State. They can't play really slow. They got to play really fast rotations if they want to keep up with Ohio State.
Yep, and I do like that Failure was able to get one on the board for Dakota State. That's going to be a good, confidence booster for their team. After a 6-0 loss, if you drop the first goal in the next game, you're probably just thinking it's, a done deal. But getting the first goal on the board is super crucial. Now Burgess going to try to get the second, but it'll be saved by Joe Fish. It's a good angle, but couldn't make anything happen. Now Failure's getting those rotations, or getting those demos in rotation, so we'll see a lot more time spent on this blue half than last game, it feels like already.
Yeah, there's so many demos in this game already, and I think that's kind of what Dakota State's going for, honestly. They're trying to go for these, just really unorthodox methods to keep this lead right now, and, it's working out for them so far. I mean, going into the middle of the game, they still have the lead. And it's just been really awkward for Ohio State right now. They haven't gotten any clean attacking opportunities. I mean, we saw an attempt at a flip reset earlier, which would have been really cool had that gone in, but a nice little pass there. That was almost in there. But, yeah, it's a little bit awkward there for Dakota State, but they're managing to keep it out. I mean, really good, solid defensive play there. This
is exactly what I was looking for in the midway break. Dakota State getting their opportunities on defense, making sure it's clean rotations, making sure there's at least someone there for that save. And they're implementing a bit of a counter-attack strategy as well. That's how they got their first goal. And there have been a couple opportunities due to that as well. Great demo by Def Moss is going to open up the net, but it's going to be off the post by Failure and cleared by Ohio State. Unfortunate that they weren't able to capitalize on that, but it looks like Joe Fish is going to lay one to the net. Perk Dog's going to get the save. Temp's going to whiff on the back wall, but it's going to go to Perk Dog, and it looks like Ohio State's going to collect. Yeah, and this is a really good shot on goal. It could be really awkward for Dakota State, but they're doing a really, really good job just defending right now. And, obviously we want Ohio State to do good, but coming from this game standpoint, after last game, it's nice and refreshing to see that Ohio State is getting challenged for this game. And, it's this unorthodox kind of play style right now is kind of making way for a really interesting game. I mean, it's still 1-0, and we're almost at the halfway mark. Ohio State's just doing everything they can to get these nice, clean passes, and Perk Dog here is almost able to kind of tuck that into the near post there. But, yeah, it's still 1-0 Dakota State with about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. Yeah, and I think an important thing to know is that, Game 1 slipped away from Dakota State so quickly. It was 4-0 by this time last time. And now that they have a 1-0 lead, we're going to see a very different second half to this game. It's not going to feel like, Ohio State's wasting the time to the next goal. But there's a great demo on the back wall, and Perk Dog will get the goal from it as well. So we're tied at 1 now. A little bit of life in this game, too, by Ohio State. Yeah, now it's going to make this game really interesting for both sides to see how they respond. I mean, I'm sure it was really frustrating for Ohio State in the beginning, but I'm sure they kept their cool. They were just playing their game. It took a little bit to get the goal, but now it's really interesting. With only being 2 goals total, with just about 2 minutes left, and it's tied at 1-1. Yep. I think I wasn't able to tell if it was a new strategy for the game in general or if it was because Dakota State went up by 1, but they had a very counterattack strategy in those last 2 minutes where they did have the lead. I wonder if that changes now that it's 1-1 and they know they will need another goal to win this game. I would like to see them continue to stay, solid on defense. A good solo play opportunity by Joe Fish is going to get cut out. But, opportunities like that to just get it on the blue half are going to be so crucial for Dakota State. Meanwhile, Ohio State just needs to keep playing their game. They had a lot of pressure in their, time down on the scoreboard, and they just kind of keep playing. I think they are still the faster team, and if they're able to get those shots on net, eventually they'll go in. Yeah, absolutely. And Ohio State's got a really good shot here. They're just trying to get some passing play and throw Dakota State off and just keep hitting it against the top of that backboard. Really good clearance there from Dakota State. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of opportunities back and forth. This game in particular doesn't have one dominant team right now. I mean, there's a lot of different strategies, a lot of different counterattacks going forth here, but the speed of the play is the most important thing in dictating the winner of the game, honestly. And what a really good shot there from Burgess there, just to hit it off the bottom of the car. I mean, my fingers broke watching that because I know I couldn't do that. That was just perfectly placed in the top corner. It goes off the crossbar and down into the net. What a shot by Burgess. And it was a great pass into the midfield as well. He was able to capitalize on it perfectly.
Yeah, now that this lead's only down by 1 for Dakota State, it should be interesting to see how they respond with just a minute left. I mean, obviously, no, they want to win this game, you know, to bring the series to a tie with just a minute left. I mean, there hasn't been many goals this game, and looks like Burgess is just able to make it 3-1 with just less than a minute left. It's going to be really hard for Dakota State to pull this one back now.
Yeah, Burgess just set himself up for a 1v1 opportunity. I think he got the bump on that, but I'm not sure it was going to be saved. It looked like he beat him with a touch anyways. So a 3-1 lead for Ohio State late into this game too, and they're looking to go up 2-0 in the series.
Yeah, and if Dakota State's probably thinking to themselves right now, you know, we've got to throw some numbers up. We got to get a lot of attacking play, and that's probably going to cost them, you know, maybe some goals, because Ohio State's really, really good at countering and countering with speed. As you can see right here in this instance, Perk Dog is probably going to be able to get a pass and tempt with a goal to make it 4-1. It's unfortunate there because Dakota State was really holding their ground there for most of the game there. They had a 1-goal lead, and their strategy was, you know, to kind of demo, to kind of make them, you know, Ohio State a little bit weary of what they were doing, but just hasn't paid off here towards the end.
Yeah, unfortunately, the floodgates have opened on the Dakota State net as 4 goals now scored for Ohio State, and it's starting to look like a runaway game. I don't think the scoreline at the end of this will tell the story of what this game was really like, as it was very two-sided for most of the match until we got to this final minute. And then I feel like just Dakota State's been trying to get any kind of answer to that second goal that Ohio State scored, and now it's, you know, Ohio State's running away with it.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's really frustrating for Dakota State. I mean, they really were doing a really solid job just holding Ohio State back, especially for how fast that they play on the counterattack and in the attack in general. So coming into the last 10 seconds here, it looks like Ohio State's got this one bagged up. I mean, you know, Dakota State's just trying to clear right now, and let's see if they keep this up like last game. But Failure able, I think, to score there to just bring it to a 2-goal differential, which I guess isn't, you know, it's a little nice consolation goal for them.
Yep, a little bit of a, you know, make the scoreline look a little less bad, but it's a great shot by Failure nonetheless, even if it is on 0 seconds. So hopefully a bit of a confidence booster for Dakota State, but Ohio State's going to go up 2-0 in this series, and they're looking to take this out in 3.
Yeah, and I think now coming into the third and potentially final match here, it seems that Dakota State has to win the rest of the matches, which could put a damper on their confidence and how they come into this next match. But all in all, they played a really good game there for about half the match. I think it was about 2 minutes 30 seconds left.
Exactly, yeah.
When they had the lead. So, you know, anything can happen if they keep the strategy that they're going for. It's going to be a little bit risky knowing that Ohio State plays so fast, but it could pay off, but they have to win the next 3 matches to do so.
Yep. If you're Dakota State, you got to forget the last minute of that game, because up until then it was a very even match. If you're Ohio State, keep playing your game, keep getting the shots on target, keep getting the demos in mid-rotation. They're doing a little bit of that. It's not too necessary for their play style, but I'm sure it will open up more space should they need it. I think what we're seeing from Ohio State is, while it is a good play style for them, I'm sure they have more tricks in the bag should things start to get dicey.
Yeah. And now we're just starting off potentially the last game of the series. We'll see how this one plays out, but it already looks like a little bit awkward there on the attack. And Dakota State with a nice little air tackle there, but Perk Dog's able to just secure a goal there with 15 seconds in.
One of my favorite phrases is that if you don't know what you're doing, your opposing team can't know what you're doing, and that's what it looked like for Ohio State's first goal. A little bit of confusion, but it just perfectly passes out to Perk Dog, and he's able to bury the shot. It's 1-0 for Ohio State early in this game 3.
Yeah, and that's really going to hurt Dakota State. I mean, last game I think they had a pretty early goal, and they kind of held that lead for a while, but now it's kind of going back to game 1, that sort of mentality there. Well, we're already behind and we can't lose this game, and it's going to be interesting to see how they respond to this. But Ohio State's playing they're playing their game. They're doing really fast counterattacks. You can already see it. They're already on their half, and yeah, we'll just have to see this one played out.
Yep, that one's going to go off the post for Burgess, but still a lot of pressure for Ohio State. And Temp's going to take the shot. It's going to be saved by Jofis. He's actually kind of impressed me this series. He's gotten a few solo play opportunities, and I think if Dakota State starts to feed him more, he could make something happen for them. And I'd like to see that strategy brought out, although this is going to be an opportunity for Failure. He's going to tee it off the backboard. And it's awkward for the Ohio State defense. It causes a double commit, and Temp is going to beat Jofis to that ball, which extends the pressure for Ohio State.
Yeah, and looks like Dakota State's just trying to get an attacking opportunity here, and Ohio State's doing a really good job just kind of shutting it down, despite for how awkward it is being. But Dakota State's just kind of throwing everything they can at them to try and bring this goal back and make it a tie in the series and maybe pull something ahead here. But Burgess got a nice shot and Failure with a nice clearance. Really awkward there, but Dakota State's able to get it cleared away.
Yep, a couple good saves there by Dakota State. I don't think the double commit will end up mattering, but it actually does, as it leaves one guy stranded on the Dakota State defense. and the pass from PerkDog just immediately into the middle is capitalized on by Temp, and that's 2-0 for Ohio State now.
Yeah, and I think in this game really reminds me of the first game. It seems like Dakota State just kind of has like one card back to kind of defend. And, judging by the way they played last game, they probably should have not kept with this strategy. Maybe they're just kind of going for an all-attack sort of thing right now. And I don't blame them, especially since they have to win this all. But if they're going to want to be able to pull this back, they're going to have to play with a lot more speed to kind of match Ohio State. They're kind of playing slow and on the back foot right now. But we're coming into about the last 3 minutes here. It looks like Ohio State's doing a pretty good job dominating, but anything can happen. It is car ball after all.
Yep. 3 minutes, still plenty of time to get 2 goals. That's why I don't understand why my teammates forfeit after, 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
I couldn't agree more.
Here's an opportunity for Ohio State. It's a 3-man passing play, and it goes off the crossbar now. Burgess going to try to capitalize it on it anyways. Joe Fist is back for the save. Didn't look like anyone was there for the first shot, but they were able to recover in time for the follow-up. And now it's an immediate pass. It looked like Temp was about to screw it up, but Burgess is able to read his teammate and bury a 3rd goal for Ohio State.
Yeah, and despite how many goals Ohio State has honestly had in this series, I think Dakota State has had a lot of saves as well to match. I mean, it could have been a lot worse score differential, but Dakota State's been doing a pretty decent job defending. It's just those open goal opportunities where it's off a rebound or off a pass that Dakota State can't really do anything about it, and they either have one man behind that can't really defend 2 people coming at them. So,
yep.
But we've got, it's 3-0 here with about 2.5 minutes left to go there. It looks like Ohio State's going to wrap this one up, but we'll just have to see how Dakota State responds. And what a really nice save there off the crossbar there to just kind of force it out there.
Yeah, that was a great save. And, you mentioned that Dakota State was getting a lot of saves. And while I think that's true, I think the unfortunate thing is they aren't ready to get that second save. I think Temp specifically has always been in the place to get that rebound from the goalie and put it in himself. And that's what's caused maybe like half the goals in the series for Ohio State. So that goes back to the rotation point we were talking about earlier and how they need to just clean up, like avoid double commits like this, because here's Temp again, just proving my point and putting in a 4th goal for Ohio State.
Yeah, and I think to your point, this was also, just a really good attacking goal from Ohio State. But I think Dakota State could have a lot more goals had they kind of taken the same approach, like really high speed and going in for the second balls, because they haven't been doing that good of a job with the second ball on the saving aspect on the defending side. But I think if they want to be able to score some goals, they have had some chances here where Ohio State's been really awkward to clear it, and if Dakota State player could come in and just tap it in where it's a somewhat open goal or really awkward for Ohio State. Like this opportunity right here, they could get some goals, but that was a really good save by Temp. Unfortunately, it was not really anywhere else you could go with that shot based on where Dakota State was jumping from there.
Yeah, that was a very awkward ball for the Ohio State defense to sort out, but unfortunately they only had one attacker for Dakota State trying to put that in. I think the first ball after it's saved, if you have another shooter there like Temp has been for Ohio State this series, then you have it go in. But this time it's PerkDog putting in the rebound goal for Ohio State, making it 5-0, and it's looking like a 3-0 sweep here.
Yeah, and I think this has been the majority of the goals, and it's been most of the story for Ohio State scoring is a lot of opportunities that were shots in goal and probably easy saves from Dakota State, but they've just kind of been bouncing in front of goal, and they've been easy tap-ins from another teammate. Normally it's been PerkDog or Temp here. But all in all, I think they've done a really good job playing their game, this really fast counter-attacking play. But looks like Joe Fish there's able to bring one back there for Dakota State. Coming into the last minute, anything can happen.
Yeah, that's what I would say. You never want to say never. Joe Fish is going to put it in. I think that's his first of the series, and it couldn't have come at a better time because if you're down 0-2 in the series and down 5-1 in Game 3, you just send everything. Just go for any opportunity you find. And this first goal is at least something on the board for Dakota State.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're coming into the last minute remaining here. I think Ohio State's still just going to keep up this kind of momentum and focus on their attacking and passing play here. Just focus on the game that they know. And it looks like they're able to tap that in there for a 6-1 here within 9 seconds of me talking about it being a minute remaining. But, yeah, unfortunately, Dakota State's, I think, just trying to really commit to trying to clear the ball up and get some attacking plays.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dakota State took my advice of send everything a little bit too literally on the defensive half as they sent 2 after a ball that definitely did not need a double commit, and it allowed Temp to slot in an angle that he probably hits most of the time, but it's a lot easier to hit when there's no defender to get it by as well. So 6-1 for Ohio State here in this Game 3. We'll see if they can pull off the Brazil. They got, 30 seconds to do so. And an opportunity here is they're going to bounce it off of each other's hood, get a demo, and Temp's going to go for the double tap. He'll find it. That's 7-1 Ohio State with the Brazil in Game 3.
It's just so crazy to me because I play Rocket League and I just can't believe how good, like how consistent, these players are when they go for these rebounds and these shots. Like they're always knowing the right position when they jump off to read the double bounce, and yeah, it honestly confuses me. But I'm glad that I'm not representing Ohio State because that would be really bad. But Ohio State here's got 7 goals. Really impressive play here. I think that's more goals than the first game, and it looks like they're going to kind of keep up that momentum, but Dakota State does bring one back. They have not just given up. I mean, that's a good thing,
I do like that. Yeah, keep practicing. Obviously, maybe this series is kind of toast for Dakota State, but these are opponents that are, better than you. Keep trying to score goals, get opportunities where you can, and at least use this time to practice and improve for your next series.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this should be a learning opportunity for them, honestly, because, Ohio State, we've seen them play such a fast attacking game, and this will maybe be a little lesson to them that, trying to play a little defensively and a little bit slower, sometimes can work. It is possible, but in this case, it did not pay off for them. But all in all, I think watching this series as a whole, I kind of was impressed with Dakota State. I just think that they maybe focused a little bit too much on their defensive end. I think they had glimpses and sparks of, they were doing really good attacking play. Yeah. And I think Ohio State, all in all, was just a much faster attacking team. And I think if there's one thing that Dakota State can take away from this, it's to kind of maybe try and replicate Ohio State's, approach to the game, really fast attacking play, because Dakota State had some opportunities there that did pay off for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can definitely tell Dakota State has some ideas on how they want to play. You could see Failure going for those demos. He was also often downfield to try to, cherry pick and get a goal off a counterattack. They had a lot of good counterattack opportunities, specifically in Game 2 that comes to mind. But you could tell there were, ideas in the works for Dakota State, and I just think they need to, improve on, the pace of play, because obviously when Ohio State got out there and was faster than them on the pitch, it, led to a pretty good series win for them.
Yeah, and now Ohio State is 3-2 now in the league, and Dakota State is now 0-5. Unfortunate for them, but I'm sure going into the next series, maybe they can take something from this game, improve a little bit more each week, and especially Ohio State too. They can take this as a learning lesson. I think they should have scored a lot more goals as well. So I think if they focus a little bit more on where they're hitting the ball in particular, they can definitely better their play.
Absolutely, yeah. It's not like Ohio State was flawless. There's still plenty of film to review. There's obviously a little bit of truth in the fact that if you don't know what you're doing, your opponents don't know what you're doing, but a little bit of that can still be cleaned up on the offensive half. But overall, good series from Ohio State, good series from Dakota State. It is a 3-0 sweep for Ohio State. They'll move to 3-2 on the season, as you said. And I believe that is it for today. So I would like to thank you for joining us as we went through this series. That is the end of Week 5 for Ohio State. We'll see you back here for Week 6.
See you guys.